This is gardening on a grand scale, with enriched meadows, woodland, so much inspiration for landscape designer Stuart Smith, who uses his backyard as a testbed for his work.
So this is the meadow, and it's all native plants, except for some of these bulbs we put in it. It is a very English garden, so it does have this pattern of hedged enclosure. The planting is not so much a traditional English thing which is to do with growing individual plants to the highest possible standard. It's much more to do with creating communities of plants in a much more kind of ecological way. You know, plantings that have a greater degree of sustainability and yet, you know, have beauty and interest the whole year round. These lilies down here, they have an amazing pungent smell now, and they get to about this kind of high and flower in August. And they have, you know, they are of Chinese parentage.
Stuart Smith is bringing his natural vision to China. Along with his team, he's designed a showpiece for the Beijing Horticulture Expo, exploring the Chinese government's major infrastructure plan, the Belt and Road Initiative.
The big inspiration for Beijing comes from China, and the idea of the one belt, one road, and what a garden could possibly say about that. It's about the bringing together of engineering and nature, and trying to show that these can work in harmony, and that they, you know, when you create a new motorway or a new city, you don't have to push nature to the limits and get it out of the way. That really, looking forward, we have to work these things together.
His design symbolises the ancient Silk Road trade route from east to west. It mixes industrial and organic concepts.
So the crux of the garden is this idea that there are these large, you know, concrete structures in the garden, and then this big sort of pavilion made out of bamboo in the middle, which kind of brings the nature and construction together.
Another prominent feature is the inclusion of heritage plants from China. The wide range of varieties appeals to the landscaper.
Well, most of the plants we're using are intentionally Chinese plants. I think that the Chinese flora is so rich and diverse. I mean, it is one of the greatest floras on the planet.
So much of what we often think of as a quintessential English garden has its roots in Chinese horticulture. And it will be interesting to see if the more European style of wilder, more natural planting grows on the visitors at the Beijing Expo. Juliet Mann, CGTN, Hertfordshire.